Welcome to another Q&A. You know, these Q&As, if you like them, you can find all of them. Maybe there's 40, 50 or so already in youtube.com/future of cleaning, and then go to the playlist Reach It Workshop. Okay, so this one is about Radial unboxing, because we think that some people might want to know some more information about the Radial rocker, actually. So let's have a look. Yes. I don't get to unbox these very often. So, inside, this is a 14-inch radial rocker. We also have an 18-inch radial rocker. The reason we have 14 inches and 18 inches, there's the same reason why you would have a 10-inch squeegee and a 16-inch squeegee, or a 12-inch and an 18-inch. Different people have different ways. But basically, you have a small profile brush for small windows, and you also have a wide profile brush for bigger windows so that you can cover more glass with the same time. Now, the brush has come packed in a PET reusable box, so it's got little clips there.
You can keep it there when you don't use it also.
Yes, yes. So it's a way to use it, a way to keep it when you are, I'll put those there, that's good.
It's a lot of scrubs.
Yes.
A lot of agitation force.
I'll put this is the little toolkit, so I better remember to go through that. Slide that off camera, and away we go. So the difference is with regards to rocker. Rocker's designed to take difficult to remove debris off glass.
Non-water solubles, maybe?
Non-water solubles, yes.
Yeah.
So it could be bee poo, artillery fungus, fern spores, paint overspray, silicon, where it creeps from the seals across the window.
Caked on dirt, maybe?
Caked on dirt, yes, if it's sun-baked, you know, that kind of thing. Because normally that'll come off pretty quickly with a bristle brush.
Sticker residue?
Sticker residue is another one, stickers and sticker residue, right? So there's all these different scrubs of different types, and each one has its own application. We can give you a general rule. We have, if you go to futureofcleaning.com, you can look up Clean Windows Faster, and you'll find the manual, and you can download it for free as a PDF, and we can send it to you for free.
It's on the wall there, actually.
Oh, here. Yeah. So there's pages and pages in there about the scrubs and what other people have found that works. However, I will put a small qualifier on that, is that I've learned over the last 10 years that what happens in Perth, Australia is not necessarily what happens in New York, America, or Great Britain, or whatever. Like globally, you've got different things happening. So at some point, you still have to take the time, start with where we set you off, and then you'll find the right scrub for the function that you have. Okay, so Radial rocker comes packed. This is just to protect it, but it is actually a scrub. It's the Magic Eraser scrub. And everything is Velcroed on, okay, so that we actually have a Velcro base there. And I think we might start back here. So this brush has what we call pivot. It's the swivel, yeah, so you can see the swivel, so you can have a swivel action. And this one in particular is a reach it one, that makes sense. This will match actually several poles. I've got a feeling it matches the over 8, because several people have told me that. But we have an alternative to this where you would undo the lever, and this part you would take off, and we have a Euro thread for Unger and any traditional pole that has a pole tip on it with a tapered thread. But
Acme as well? Acme thread?
No, we have an Acme thread.
Yeah.
So you've got to order that specially, the Acme. But we do have an Acme thread if somebody's just normally you'd find an Acme thread on a aluminum pole, right? A cheaper pole, but we can do it. And if somebody has a tucker or a Gardner, right? This teeth mechanism here, you can undo the lever, pull it apart, and this part you would keep from your Gardner or your tucker, and just put the brush on there and then reassemble, and the levers are compatible with them. So that's the way we make it so that it suits all poles that we know about.
And you can also set that to a negative angle if you're cleaning below the waist.
Yes, I think that's a really good point. Thank you, sir. So it will go all the way up there. So you're holding the pole in that direction, and so you can actually keep the water above the bristles and be cleaning right down to the bottom of the window. That's a very good point.
It's very good for cleaning maybe glass balustrades.
Yeah, any glass that goes to the ground. Once you clean below the waist, you change to a negative angle, because otherwise normally you turn the brush upside down and then the water's on the underside, and so then you have to go back and rinse it. So if you have a negative angle, you've got an efficiency. So then we go from here. So we've done this, then we go here. Now what we did with this part of the brush is that we made it so it's not going to fail. Like the bristles are incredibly long-lasting, the whole brush is long-lasting, but what we know is that normally you'll see swivels on the market are plastic on plastic, and so that you get a friction in there, and then that friction will wear, and then the actual swivel part is not tight and accurate. So we put stainless steel, and then on the inside is a brass bush, right? So it's running metal on metal, so it won't wear down. And while we're there, you'll see in this little toolkit that we give you, there goes that thing, there's a spanner. I think you'd call that a spanner. It's a hex head. And what this tool is here for is you can actually get in under here, right? You push the push fit down, and you can tighten that, right? So that's now tight, right? Firm, or you can loosen it, because what we found is that different guys have got different feelings about how they like that, because now it's completely loose.
But you can definitely have different tightness, so it can suit anyone.
It's designed that you can change the brush to feel the way you want it to feel. Some guys like it tight, so they can set it and then take it up and put it on a window somewhere, and it doesn't go flip flop flip flop. And other guys are mostly working ground and second story, and they prefer it to be much looser. So it's a nice feature to make sure that you've got full adaptability. Okay.
Then we have the anodized aluminum block.
Yes, good. So the frame for all of the radial brushes are aluminum, and what that means is you've got a long-lasting frame. On the inside, it's got T-channels, right? So that everything is slidably engaged is the official scientific language. So all of the components of the brush are slidably engaged onto that. The end caps are basically a soft TPE over the top of a hard POM plastic, and we've got in the mold at the moment just being tested, we've got a solid PU, polyurethane end cap. But the intention is that this end cap is slightly soft, so there's no risk of you damaging your customers' frames, especially if they're painted and getting older. But it won't scratch the frames, it won't mark the frames, and
Protects the brush.
It protects the brush and it protects the frames. The thing which I see is that a lot of guys still basically come from the old days, the 50-year-old technique, and the first thing they do is go across the top of the window and go bang, 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 bang. Normally, if you need to bang, bang, bang the brush against the frame, it means you've probably got a soft pole, or you just haven't adjusted your strategy to having a rigid pole. If you have a rigid pole, you don't need to do that, because the radial technique is you go across the top, whether it's the frame or the window, you go across into the corner, scrub through the corner, and then down the frame. So there's no reason to be impacting.
That's also why the pivot is there, be able to...
Yes, if you don't use the pivot, you're really an up-down, straight pull type window cleaning style, but you won't clean the corners out. There's only one way to clean corners really efficiently, is to have these bristles scrolling through the corners, grabbing the spider webs and the spider nests, and then dropping them into this water that's going to come across the top here, which we'll talk about, how that rinse bar works and how the bristles work. So then, we'll talk about how the water comes in. So this is a 10 millimeter 3/8 inch compatible entry point, and so we would recommend high flow tube. That one?
Exactly,
yep.
Man.
Did well, didn't I? And then just so we've got another video on this, so I won't wax lyrical on it, but you'll find that there is a piece of high flow tube in your pack to make sure that you know that you can loop this around the pole and go back into your
push fit on the number one section.
On the number one section.
Yeah, on the reach it pole.
So you'll see here there's a push fit.
Yeah, there's a push fit on the number one section attached. Yeah.
So that's if you have a reach-it pole. If you don't have a reach-it pole, we recommend strongly that you isolate the tube that's going up the pole from the tube that's servicing the brush so that the swivel action is not being interfered with by the load that the tube itself would put on. So in some way or another, isolate it, have a 10-10 push fit there, which is a 3/8 inch push fit.
So there will be no strain on the.
We don't include that in there.
Sorry?
We don't include one with it, but you can buy it in our store. If you see this and you go, I'm going to need that, you can buy those separately.
Then we have a little bit of inline debris filter, maybe even two.
Oh, true. Nice, Martin.
There's so many features,
So in here, when you have a look at this tube that goes around and services the rinse bar, you'll see a couple of little bulges. Those are actually inline filters which are aimed at catching debris. Now, a careful window cleaner will never get debris in their brush. However, the reality is that we're not always careful, or our workers are not careful. And what happens is that you're dealing with pure water. It's just come out of a filter. It's completely pure and clean. It's the hose connection, right? Dragging on the ground when you're winding up your hoses and all that. It can pull debris and then put it into the water stream. So to protect you from having to, these jets are not highly serviceable. We do give you, that's a good time to say it, we give you a little pin in the pack so that you can poke away at stuff, and try and clear the rinse bar. So there's a little pin. Can you see that, Martin? Because I'm on black.
I can do some B-roll on that.
Yeah, I can hold that up.
Yeah, it's a little pin.
Right, little pin, and that's to help you clear the jets. If some guys take these filters out because they'll increase the flow rate of the brush just a little bit. So that's kind of like a DIY solution. So we give it to you so that you can, in case you make a mistake and you end up with debris in your line and you end up with a jet that's not working properly. So that's the filters. We come round. Let's talk about the rinse bar.
Oh yeah, Hydroblade 2 Plus.
Hydroblade 2 Plus. So the purpose of the rinse bar, and what's unique about using a reach-it brush or a radial brush over any other brush that's on the market, even if it has a rinse bar, is the fact that we designed the rinse bar to put the water where you need it. When you're going into the corners, you need the water to be on top of the brush in the corners. So when you come across into the corner and you're scrolling, as you turn that brush, these jets are going to take all that debris and add it into the jet stream, or it's really not the jets, that's the jet stream, it's really like the flow. When the brush is against the glass, any radial brush will make the glass behave hydrophilic. In other words, the water will cascade. If you take the brush off the glass and the glass is hydrophobic, then you'll see the water create little rivers and everything, and you can't get a proper rinse. The water has to cascade to get a fast rinse. Otherwise, you've got to go and chase the dirty water off the glass, like pencil jets and stuff like that. But a lot of the guys with rinse bars think they have the same as this, but they still have to rinse so much of the window with the brush off the glass. So the logic here is that we can squirt the water out on the angles, and we can get the water on top of the brush. And what's the secondary gain of the hydrophobic effect of a radial brush on glass is that the water doesn't go through this brush. These bristles are like a perfect barrier to the water. So the water will squirt out onto the window, come down onto the bristles, and then run back in here and then run back onto the glass. So always in your downstroke, you're going to have the brush slightly angled against the frame. And what that does is means all of the water, the 2 liters a minute that's coming out of this brush, all that 2 liters a minute is chasing the worst debris off the glass, which is basically anything sticky like a spider web. You can spend a lot of time chasing spider webs off windows if you don't.
Are these also with base jet for this 14-inch?
No, the base jets are, I think.
The 18-inch? Oh, there.
Yeah, so let me just check. I need my glasses to check.
Yeah, let's check it. Be sure.
Yeah, so we have base jets in the pack. Now, if you add, there's 4 jets here and 4 jets there and 26 jets across the top. So if you add these to the bottom of the brush, you're going to need 2.5 liters per minute, 3 liters a minute, maybe 2.5 is enough. but you definitely need a higher flow rate because some of the water will want to come out the bottom of the brush, and gravity will give the bottom jets the preference over the top jets.
And it's the same with the 18-inch?
Yeah, the same, but not fitted. Like no radial rocker is fitted. The deep frame rocker is fitted with because they're more for up-down cleaning and commercial glass, which is usually definitely cleaned less frequently. So, yeah, so you can fit these. There's a video in the Q&A.
I will actually make a new video of that. Yeah.
Just dedicated to that,
Yes.
how to fit these, because you've got to cut the tube. And
Yeah, you got to cut the tube according
Yeah.
to the size and measure.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, but it's nice to have something to show
just
how
something
to do it.
easy for it. So we try and think of everything. We don't want you coming back and having to go to the store and having to buy the base jets. We include them with every brush. We probably think maybe 10% of people use them, but for those people that do use them, that have pump systems or whatever they are, they've got like very good water flow management, and so they can get the higher flow rates. Then it's a big advantage to have water under the brush.
But especially for super dirty windows.
Super dirty, yeah, because you're basically when you're on your way up the window, you're pushing the dirt up, and then you've got to pull the dirt down. If you've got water under the brush, especially the water doesn't go through the brush.
It doesn't go to the bristles at the same.
Yeah, so you've got water under the brush, and then you're pulling down faster than gravity would have the water flow down. So you're turbulating that water, and that takes a lot more of the dirt off in the downstroke than it does if you've only got top jets. But we're talking, large commercial jobs where that's going to make a difference to you, right? Really dirty windows with dirt. Yeah. So. The other thing which is the design of the radial brushes and these jets is that when you're cleaning the top edge using the radial technique, the brush should be at 30 to 45 degrees going across the top. And these jets are designed to point out like this and come out all the way out to here. The water will land in this area here. However, when the brush is at an angle, at 2 liters a minute or half a gallon a minute, so the design is that these jets will reduce their spray, so they'll reduce down to on the bristles.
Due to the gravity?
Due to the gravity.
Okay.
Yeah. And where did that water go that was going to go out there? It comes out the bottom jets, right? So the gravity is giving preference to the bottom jets over the top jets. And what that means is that when you're going across the top, you're not wetting above where you agitated. Now, if you increase the flow rate to 2.5 liters per minute or more than half a gallon a minute, then you'll start seeing that water go over where your bristles are. So that's why we've designed all of the radial brushes to what we call high flow is 2 liters a minute or half a gallon a minute. And they're all designed this way so that you can switch and change between all of the brushes without having to reset your filter, pump, hose, tube relationship every time you change the brush.
And also the radial technique, we have a video that explains exactly how to do it. And also it's in the catalog if you want to download it. Or you can check the YouTube channel for the radial technique.
Correct.
And also, actually, if you go to the radial page, the brush page, you can find the radial technique there, among other windows. It's super important to really get efficient.
Yeah, like I got a video this morning from a guy in Korea, and he's got one of these brushes, but he was genuinely using what is originally called the tucker technique. Going across the top edge.
Which is good for a tucker brush.
Then cleaning the top half of the window, then cleaning the bottom half of the window, then cleaning the whole window, and then cleaning the bottom edge. Yeah, that's the original Tommy Tucker type. That's how he said to clean a window. And that, and forgive me if I got that a little bit wrong, but I always saw that as very inefficient. And that's so when we designed the reacher brushes, we always thought about the tool and the technique together, because if you don't change your technique, you're not going to increase your efficiency, even though your brush is capable of delivering much more efficiency. So what was that?
I thought it was like the air condition started or something.
Yeah. So you'll find that the design of the brush is aimed at a particular flow rate. Once you master that flow rate, you might have to change from 5/16 tube to 3/8 tube. You might need to increase some of the length in like we have a 16 millimeter tube hose. This hose here is for long distances. But once you master that and you get a balanced system which matches your performance of your filter system, and you get it all the way through to the brush. Once you master that, then everything can be set and you can use any of the brushes. The only exception is we have a low flow jet rinse bar, we have that for the light and the ultralight available at purchase, or you can buy high flow and low flow so you can interchange them.
But this is not for the rocker, right?
That's not for the rocker,
No.
so we'll talk about that. Yeah, so we'll make another video on that. That's a good point. Thank you, Martin. So the bristles, now these bristles are, a lot of you would know that when we had constructor brush, we had a plastic spine holding the bristles together, and the challenges that we faced over time as we went to increase the quality of the bristles, we couldn't melt the spine to them. So every plastic has its own melting temperature, and we couldn't get this automatic machine to melt a spine onto the high quality bristles. So we changed from that to steel. So now you'll find that all of these bristles are actually mounted in steel, right? And what that gave us is the ability to buy the best bristles that are on the market. And so these are a nylon bristle.
And the shape is special too. They have this radial shape.
Yeah, we'll get, yeah, so I'll just cover this on the material. You know, this particular bristle material has got a deformation point at 120 degrees Celsius, which is like maybe close to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm guessing. Maybe, would that be right? No, it's got to be more. You can look that up. And so maybe it's much higher, actually, if I think about it. So you can put hot water through, and then it's the bristle material that is least likely to deform. So that's based on how much water it absorbs and all sorts of things that you probably don't want to need to know. But it's scientifically designed. Then we have the bristles. Can you see there, Martin?
Yes, I can see. There's two rows.
There's 2 rows of bristles on a radial rocker. So those 2 rows mean that as we press that brush down, what we're looking for is the tips of the bristles on the glass. Yeah, if the bristles go flat, and you see that with almost all of the brushes out there, as you press them against the glass, the bristles will go flat, and then you're trying to clean glass with the sides of a bristle. Now, bristle is made by extrusion, so it's coming through. It's plastic injected into one end and coming through as a strand. You know, so it looks like a hair, but it's continual, and then it's cut. So it's perfectly round. It's machine made. It's not like boar's hair or anything like that. So trying to clean windows with the sides of bristles is like crazy, but it's still out there. Like people. But if you look at a standard water-fed brush, like a Tucker, right, you'll see that it's a dual trim brush, and the reason it's a dual trim with about ½ an inch in here is the same logic, is to make sure those outside bristles don't collapse any further than is necessary to leave the tips. So we collapse this. We have the second row, which are also shorter, so that when we press down, they're actually set at a different angle as well inside the aluminum block, but you probably don't need to know that. But anyway, the whole idea is you've got 2 rows of bristle tips that are at an angle, so that when you go across the glass, they're actually digging at the dirt and pushing it into suspension in the water that's there. You'll see that these are bent in a radial, so that's the first time that corners can easily be cleaned, right, with a water-fed brush. Because before, with the constructor brush, we had bristles going out straight, and if you look at any of the traditional water-fed brushes, then they're basically a square end, and you push a square end into a square corner, and all you do is push, but you don't get anything coming out, right?
Especially a triangular window. It'd be even
harder. No, every window.
All right.
Completely every window. So we took a long time, really a long time, to be able to master how to get these radial bristles to be consistent on every brush. But the logic is the brush will come across into the corner, and then you scroll through the corner. Those bristles are digging and pulling. So they're removing what the debris is in the corner and then pushing it down onto the frame. And then all the water coming out of all of these jets is all running across here and flushing it, like 2 liters a minute, ½ a gallon a minute, flushing it down the frame, right? You need a lot of water to get sticky debris to go in the first stroke off the glass, yeah?
And sticky The bristle feed like what? Spider webs?
Mostly spider webs. Yeah, spider nests, spider webs.
I've seen a lot in, especially Australia.
Yeah, you
in
see.
the US too, right?
Yeah, and Canada's got sometimes the whole window will be covered in spider webs, right? So you just need loads of water to get that stuff off the glass. Otherwise, you're going to spend longer on the glass. Everything works. Cleaning windows is not so difficult. Everything works. The question is, how fast is it? Because we charge for the job. The faster we can do the job, the more the hourly rate, the higher the profitability of our business. So these are not cheap tools, but they pay for themselves really quickly, right? Because you work that much faster. Like we've got guys who testify to, $450 an hour, $600 an hour, like jobs they quoted based on how long it used to take them, and then they get the radial rocker out and it just cracks through it. So it's a very exciting product,
You just checked the testimonials on the web store.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
The last one is the rocker function, right? So you can see that moving?
yes.
Yep.
So why do we have this?
The rocker function, we designed that before. If you go back to, we started with bronze brush, then we went to window weapon, and then we came to radial rocker. So bronze brush was a flat block. Window weapon, was a curved block, so that because when you're at the bottom of the window, maybe your pole is here. When you're at the top of the window, your pole is there. So there's an arc range of degrees that the pole is going through, which the brush, by the nature of that, is also going through that range of motion. So by putting a rocking block on there, this will stay flat on the glass through that range of motion from the top of a window to a bottom of a window.
For maximum agitation, basically.
Maximum agitation. So then when you go to agitate, the question is, what are you going to agitate with? And that's where we give you in the box 16 different scrubs, maybe the most...
Not 16 different, right?
16 scrubs, 7 different types. Yes, thank you. Nice correction. So maybe the most aggressive is the stainless steel wool. This is not steel wool, this is stainless steel wool. And steel wool will rust maybe in 10, 15, 20 minutes. Every window cleaner knows that. So this stainless steel wool is not going to rust unless it can rust, and it will rust over time or oxidize over time. However, it doesn't rust quickly. So as long as you maintain it, you just got to... most of these scrubs, which have got a metal in them, you've got to get them off the glass when you finish working and dry them quickly, so they don't just sit in water.
They also have this flaps you can flap over.
Oh, good point.
So that even though they have the Velcro, it sticks, but these also have can you show them to the camera? I can show it later in the B-roll.
Yeah, you can show it in B-roll, but basically there's an elastic there that you then pull over, and that has a couple of functions. It adds to the protection of the window, not that it's real, but it does it, and it then means that even if you do tap something which would want to lift this off the Velcro, then it can't lift off, so it stays on, right? That is true for all of the ones with a fabric outline, but for Magic Eraser we don't do it, and for white non-scratch pad we don't do it, right? Because these all just stick on in Velcro. So then we could go very briefly through the scrubs. Stainless steel wool is the most aggressive. So sometimes people will say to me, how do I know they won't scratch the glass? Especially stainless steel wool, because we don't use 0000 and we don't use 000, we use a 00. And you would not normally buy 00 stainless steel wool and use it on windows. The reason is that steel wool is kind of mashed up and mushed up, and there are steel bristles, strands that are pointing straight at the glass, and they maybe, depending on the glass, maybe could scratch. So what we do is we line all of these bristles across.
Horizontally?
Horizontally, and they act as a scraper. And so we've got other ones that scrape. We call this one the cheese grater, but it's a stainless steel type blade. You can see it there. All of these are running parallel to the glass, so they're just cutting. But this one has a lot more space in it, and the blades are a lot longer, so it'll cut under things, right?
I know I've seen some people use it for like insect poo and
Yeah,
stuff like
insect
that?
poo stickers, like when the sticker is on the glass and
Yeah.
you need to wet the stickers to soften the sticker, but having wet the sticker to soften the sticker, this will sort of slice underneath it, just like a blade does. Like we put blades on glass, as long as everything's parallel to the glass and at the right angle, you can have metal on glass.
Especially if you're like a traditional going to water-fed, you will understand exactly what that means.
I mean, those guys, every traditional window cleaner carries that stuff on his belt anyway.
What
so
do we
it's the
got
same
here?
logic. This one is called blue metal. It's basically stainless steel threads woven into a polyester fabric, right? So we found this in the market originally when we were looking at how you clean your porcelain and glasses in your home, right? So you'll find this material around the foam block.
Yeah, I think I have that at home sometimes.
Yeah, so it's very good at just cutting. It's not as dense in its cuttability. However, the guys that deal with fly poo, artillery fungus, a lot of those guys like this best, So that's that one. We have microfiber. The reason we have microfiber, I'm not a fan of microfiber on glass, because microfiber doesn't self-flush. All these other ones can self-flush. If you get something that could scratch glass, like a grain of sand, that can scratch glass. But if in microfiber, there's still that chance that it'll lodge itself in the microfiber. Where we recommend the use of microfiber is when you've got black soot or barbecue smoke, or near a highway, near a railway line, near an industrial zone, and there's hydrocarbon debris on the window. So how to know that is that if you are cleaning the window and you see little fine lines in the debris, and it's not coming off, that means it's not water soluble. So that means it's got an oil or a hydrocarbon in there, and so you need to add detergent to break the hydrocarbon down. So you can add detergent to the microfiber, and that'll break down hydrocarbons, and then you carry on cleaning. So just the same detergent that you use in your traditional window cleaning.
So it's like
bucket.
a mop material type then?
Yeah,
No?
It's just a standard microfiber.
Yeah, okay.
You're not trying to use it for agitation. You're really just trying to use it to break down hydrocarbons. The other scrubs are better. The most popular scrub is white non-scratch pad. White non-scratch pad is also used, in all industrial cleaning. It's a very, very popular product. It's basically a woven plastic with a powder. When it's new, it's got a powder inside, which is like, if you imagine toothpaste. Toothpaste is a liquid with a powder, right? Or if you buy that soap, when you rub it on your skin, it's got little beads in it.
Yeah, like a spa soap.
In it, like an exfoliating soap. Logic is there. So a lot of guys use these a lot, and they don't really realize that when they're new, they've got a little bit more to them. However, when you've got the combination of the bristles and white non-scratch pad, even without that, you've got basically nylon bristles running parallel to the glass, and you've got the bristles going around the outside, digging at the glass. So the combination, the hybrid of these two together is actually a very good go-to brush. The only thing about any of the brushes with a block is that they're not good for French panes, cut-ups, where you have to go over a frame, right? Because the block is there, right? So what else have we got? We have bronze wool. Some guys like bronze wool better. So we have that. And then the magic eraser is great for silicons, sticker residue. Really.
Is that a grabber? Or?
It's a grabber. Yeah. So it basically has a high friction coefficient, and so it grabs stuff that's just not going to be scratched off or scraped off. Yeah. So it just grabs it. Magic erasers, everybody knows magic erasers, great for that.
We also have a lot of videos from Monument when he's using it on location. One of our test.
Yeah, he's a prototype test guy. Yeah.
So we have a lot of videos also in our YouTube channel. Search Modman playlist. There you can find a lot of information. What scrub is best where?
Yes, for him. For him,
right? Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to also find what's best for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. And he's also got a new video on the silicon scrub that we have. We don't include it in the kit because it's a specialist scrub and they cost us a crazy amount of money to make. So they're available if you feel you need a silicon scrub, because the next best thing to a silicon scrub is the green rubber. And
The Hulk.
The Hulk, yeah, they call it the Hulk. So the green rubber, its function is, again, it's kind of friction coefficient on the glass. It's very porous in the sense so that dirt can go through it. It's self-cleansing, and it's very good at picking up like the residue off bee poo and stuff like that, like waxy things. Again, it's a grabber, not a scraper. Yeah.
It's funny because not everyone, but a lot of people have different favorites.
Yes.
Because
yes.
depending on where they are in the world and cleaning,
yes.
different scrub has different.
It really does, because
Yeah.
even we say bee poo. Well, bee poo in spring is not bee poo in fall. We talk about bird droppings. Bird droppings changes seasonally based on the diet of the bird.
I didn't
bat
even
droppings.
imagine we were going so detailed.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a
what
fact. That's a fact.
You know, when you get somebody goes, and you see two guys argue online, and there's very little, because everybody's got anecdotal, experiential, true evidence that this works best under this condition.
Yeah.
And the other guy goes, I tried that and it didn't work for me, and they can't quite grasp how different the globe is, and the conditions, and the seasons, and the animals, and the insects, and everything like that. They're all different. So the most important thing is we give you loads of all of them so you can work it out for yourself.
And also, of course, this is the game changer for window cleaning, this rocker.
There's no doubt it's the game changer.
And also, of course, it's included in our elite packs.
Yes. Oh, that was a good point.
Yeah. Because the elite packs have the rocker, the radial 14 and 18. You have the deep frame.
And now you have ultralight as well.
Now we have the ultralight as well.
Is also in there.
Yeah.
So that's a great way. It's a very economical way to buy Reach It window cleaning tools, is to get an elite pack with a tactical or a warrior, depending on your conditions. We talk about that on other videos. Yeah, and then we have no reports of scratched glass. We have some guys who have bought this pack, and then they're scared to put one of the bristles, one of the scrubs on the glass. But there's no reports of them scratching glass. The science is sound. All right, the strands are running parallel to the glass. They run up the glass. They cut stuff off the glass. It goes into the flow, and you get it off the glass. The only thing I will say, is just again to remind everybody that we have a radial technique, and the principle is with all of the brushes is that you can agitate on the upstroke, rinse on the downstroke. There is no secondary phase. Very often, like 95% of the time, there's no need to go back and do a rinse phase, right? Because the way the water works and the flow rate works with the radial brush, you would be agitating on the upstroke where you're pushing towards the glass, relaxing, letting the brush come down the glass. The bristles create a hydrophobic effect, so the water cascades down. Preferably the brush is slightly angled, so all the water goes to one side towards the frame, and so you get a better flush of anything which you might have caught out of the corners, and then that's it. And you might do that radial technique 1 times, 2 times, and maybe more if it's really, really difficult to remove debris. But there's no secondary rinse phase like with pencil jets or other rinse bars where you're actually going back and saying, now I need to rinse. The rinse is done. So if you trust the brush and you test it, it's now, when did we release this, Martin? November 2019.
Yeah, something like that. I also want to say that if you want to learn the radial technique, we have a great video both in the YouTube channel, which we also post a lot of other videos. You can just search the radial technique, or you can go to the radial rocker page there in our web store, Future of Cleaning, that you can see this technique. Yeah. It's also in the radial page, but if you choose the radial rocker, you can see the technique there. And
really important, because that's where this is, $349 US pack. It looks like a lot of money for a brush, but if it doubled your performance, and sometimes it does way better than that, but it'll definitely double your performance, so halve your time on the glass. If you're $100 an hour, you're earning $200 an hour. If you're $60 an hour, you're earning $120 an hour. If you're $150 an hour, you're earning $300 an hour. That $350 investment can pay for itself on one job. And there's loads of guys who have talked about that over the years. So it's a really, really good investment. It's a great product. And we made it so that you don't have to have a Reach It pole in order to take advantage of the radial technology. the science of why you would choose a 14-inch over an 18-inch is really important, because the issue that you're dealing with is difficult to remove debris from windows. And the pounds per square inch on the 14-inch is the area, the square inches is the area of that scrub, right? And the square inches for this one is the area of that scrub. So the pounds per square inch of force is noticeably less with the bigger brush. So if you're really looking to remove very difficult to remove debris from windows, you're better to spend, you're better to do more strokes with a smaller brush than less strokes with a bigger brush. Now, a lot of guys buy this and they put the white non-scratch pad in there and they're really just making themselves the most aggressive brush that they can as a go-to brush, and they're working on big windows or commercial work or things like that. So that's where the 18-inch comes in. It has its place in the market. But if you are thinking, I'm going to get better value by spending $50 more for a bigger brush, you may get less efficiency. You may end up doing 3 strokes compared to 2, or 4 strokes compared to 2, because the pounds per square inch efficacy of the scrub. Okay? All right, that's all.